Hello, hello, and welcome to our 39-week prenatal yoga series. And I don't know about you mamas, but if you're still with me, I'm moving a little bit slower, and that is what our practice is going to be today. Just slow, gentle, really restorative movement for you and your baby, but also your breath. So maybe feeling a little shorter of breath the bigger we get, or maybe your baby has dropped a little bit and you've got a little more space in that diaphragm lung region to take deeper breaths. So wherever you are, we are going to, of course, start by connecting with our breath. We're going to start standing today. Feel free to take a seat if that feels right for you today. This is your practice. But if you're with me standing, feet are just about hip or shoulder width apart. Make sure you bend your knees slightly so we're not locking out the knees. And then we're going to place both hands on our belly, roll the shoulders back and down. So we're standing relaxed, but we're feeling supported. Closing down the eyes, lowering the gaze. And standing up tall with a straight spine, but not too rigid. And as we think about our posture as pregnant women, as we stand, we want to be really conscious that we're not arching through the lower back. We're not compensating with the lower back too much whenever we're in a standing position. And I'm sure you feel it, as I do throughout my day. Tightness in the lower back, but we can help mitigate that by gently hugging baby in. So that's where we're going to go today. That's how we're going to begin. Gently hug baby in, slightly tucking the pelvis. Baby is fully supported by your beautiful, perfect home, your womb. And then tuning into our breath. So inhaling through the nostrils, feeling the belly expand. Exhaling through the mouth. Letting your breath rock the baby. And then coming back to a normal pattern of breathing, not thinking about it too much. And just setting an intention for today's practice, or sending an intention to your loving baby or babies. Could be a word, could be a feeling, could be a full sentence, whatever you need to tell your baby while feeling connected in your practice. And then when you're ready, blinking open the eyes. We're just going to gently pull the heel up on one foot and then switch. So we're just going to work bottom up today as we're standing, and then we'll make our way down to the floor. So alternating between those little heel pops, really pressing up and over the toes, so we're really stretching out the bottom of the foot. Feel free to place your hands on your hips, or even hands on a wall or table if you need a little support. Beautiful. And then we're going to take up to one toe. We're going to take some ankle circles. So challenging that balance a little bit. So hug baby in, Soft bend in the standing leg and reverse that direction. Giving our feet some love because at this point, I know a lot of women are swollen and being on our feet too long is painful. So we're not gonna be here long. And release that leg down, switch side. So find your balance, gently grounding through that standing leg, come up to your toe, and then start to circle the ankle. I like to hold my belly sometimes when I'm standing, so I remind myself to hug baby up and in and not lean back. So we don't want to be here, sticking the belly out. We want to be in alignment and really supporting the lower back with the front body as much as we can. And then reverse that direction. Beautiful. Then we're just going to take some little hip sways side to side, so feel free to step a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Leaning into the side of our hips. Feel free to take a little figure 8 motion. Stretching out those glute medius muscles, those side and lower back, where everything wraps around the hips and starts to feel a little more tender. I know this feels really good when I sway. Beautiful. And we're just gonna step out, a little lunge to the side, step together, other side. So we're bending that outside leg, keeping the inside leg straight, just getting a tiny little inner thigh, adductor muscle, groin stretch, and sinking the hips back. So you're feeling a little stretch through the back of the glutes. Dynamic flexibility here. Just doing movements that feel good in your body. And if this doesn't feel good and you'd rather just hold it, stay there. Pause the video and stay for as long as you'd like. Good, other side. And release. Okay, one last standing balance movement. We're gonna lift the heel up of the right foot, come up to the toe, and bring the knee up, little marches. Heel, toe, knee. So alternating between the two legs. Heel, toe, knee, heel, toe. Beautiful. One more time on the other side. Good. All right. Inhale, sweep the arms up as we bend the knees. Look up. Exhale, release. Inhaling, moving with the breath. Look up. Exhale. Release. And again, gathering the energy up from the earth. Exhale. Release. Beautiful. Hands to your hips, shoulder circles. Full range of motion. So squeeze the ears, squeeze the shoulders up to the ears and release. And then reverse that direction. Beautiful. Coming to stillness, we're going to take our right foot behind the left foot. So crossing those ankles, right knee behind the left knee, or as best as your body can. Listen to your body. And then we're going to inhale, sweep both arms up, wrap the right fingers around the left wrist, and we're gonna stretch up and over to the right. Nice little side body stretch here. Bending into that left leg. Trying to open up toward the ceiling so we're not collapsing toward the floor. So looking up under your armpit, gaze to the ceiling. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale. Release. And And then we're going to inhale, sweep both arms up. Bring your hands down through heart center. Hinge at the hips. And then we're gonna fold forward. Grab your blocks. Always need our blocks or books or some sort of support so we don't have to fold all the way to the floor over that belly. Let your head, neck, and shoulders release. Beautiful. Uncross the legs. And then we're going to cross to the other side. So the left foot crosses around behind that right ankle. Starting with our forward fold, release the head, neck, and shoulders. Just dangle that head, shake your head yes and no. That feels good. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to your thighs and roll it up gently. Beautiful. If you don't feel stable in this position, you can bring your leg wider, your back leg wider. If that narrow position is okay for you and you feel grounded, great. If not, this is an option. Nice big kickstand to the back. Then we're gonna inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, release. One more, deep inhale. Wrap the left fingers around the right wrist, up and over to the left. Side body stretch. Soft bend in both knees, so just gentle bend so we're not locking out those knee joints. Turn, gaze up to the ceiling. One more deep inhale. Exhale, release. Uncross those legs. We're gonna take a nice wide stance. Turn the toes in. So we're really internally rotating from the top head of the femur, from the top head of the legs. So we're not just rotating through those toes or ankles, we're rotating all the way up that leg. Nice wide stance. And then we're gonna inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, soft bend in the knees, bend at the hips, and forward fold. Hands coming to your blocks. Release the head and the neck. Shake that head out. Beautiful. When you're ready, find stillness. Feel free to bend the legs. Find some movement. Do what feels right. Just to release. The goal here is just to release through that back body. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the blocks and walk our hands all the way over to the left side of our mat. Nice long arm stretch here. Arms are straight. Beautiful. Walk your hands all the way through center, around to the right. Straight arms stretch to the right side. Beautiful. Walk your hands back to center. One more. Long arm stretch to the center. Release the head, neck, and shoulders. And then walk those hands in and gently release your knees to the floor. Come on down. I'm gonna turn and face the side so you can see me. Turn the knees in toward each other, toes out. So maybe toes go wider than your mat. We're gonna reach those arms long and sway side to side. So we're getting that internal rotation, opening up the pelvis. This is also a good position to use during labor and delivery. Swaying side to side. That pelvis is nice and open with your femurs, with your thigh bones internally rotated. Good, coming to stillness. We're gonna come down to a child's pose. So toes together, knees wide. Reach the arms long, sit the hips back to the heels, melt to the floor. If that doesn't feel good, if your belly is under too much pressure here, stay a little more elevated using your blocks or some pillows under your chest. You can support your chin or your head, or even just taking one block to your forehead. Find what feels right for your body. Melting. Releasing any tension in the back body. And when you're ready, come on up. Just lift your chest up. We're gonna walk those hands around to the left. Nice deep side stretch to the left. Child's pose, stacking right hand over left. Melt to the floor. Or to your pillow or block. Then when you're ready, we're gonna walk those hands all the way over. Through center to the right side of our mat, left hand stacks over right. Melt to the floor or your pillow or your block. Deeper side stretch on the left. Trying to release any tension you might feel in the upper, middle, or lower back. Sending your deep inhale to any tightness you might feel. So any space that feels really tight, or maybe it's just that side body stretch. Send the breath there. And then let it go. So visualizing expansion through any tightness, any tight areas. A couple more breath cycles here. And And then when you're ready, coming up from the child's pose, coming back through center. We're gonna come up to our hands, come to our knees into a tabletop position. Feel free to rock those hips side to side. Notice what feels good, notice what feels tight. Tuning into our body, especially these last couple of weeks leading up to the big day where we get to meet the babe. So important to be listening and really in tune to that inner wisdom we all have, telling us how the baby wants to move to come out and how your body wants to move to help the baby out. Mother's intuition, never wrong. Come back into stillness, hug the baby up and in, and then we're gonna come down to our elbows. So we're placing the hands with the elbows. Elbows are right under shoulders. Hands are flat, forearms are flat. And then we're gonna tuck the toes, lift our hips, and we're coming into a dolphin pose. We're just gonna be here for one breath cycle. So lifting up, deep inhale, deep exhale, go ahead and release. We're gonna do that a few more times. So if you're familiar with the mile circuit or trying to get the baby into position, the mile circuit is a really popular formula of body positions for the mother to try to get the baby in position. And this is one of them, a variation on one of them, coming into an inverted position like this. So tuck the toes, lift the hips. You can walk your feet in if that feels good and try to reach the heels toward the floor. Or you can just stay up on your toes wherever you are. Really pressing up and out of the shoulders, nice and strong through the upper back and shoulders. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Go ahead and release those knees down to the floor. Wiggle it out if that feels good. We're gonna take that 2 more times. Coming to stillness. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And release. Good job. Just kind of reset. Take some pressure off the shoulders. And so if you're worried about your baby being in the right position, look up the mile circuit. It's something you can do at home. This is a portion or a variation on a position in it, coming into an inversion. I think they really want you to be elevated, so they encourage you to go from your bed or your couch. And there's plenty of examples online. But if you know that your baby's not in the head down position, this might be something worth trying. Here we go, one more time. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Two full deep breaths here. When you're ready, go ahead and gently touch those knees down. Sit back on your heels, come off your shoulders, circle out your wrists, circle out your shoulders, give them some love. I'm just gonna turn and face you. We're gonna stay seated, kneeling for a second. So if that doesn't feel comfortable to you, feel free to put blocks under your hips and elevate your hips. Pillows or blocks would be beautiful. So circling out the shoulders, reverse that direction. Then we're gonna take our right arm across the front body and hold. Gentle stretch through the front and lateral deltoids. Those shoulders just work so hard for us, especially if you're going to continue those inversions and try to mile circuit leading up until the big day. Need strong shoulders, so give them some love. When you're ready, release that right arm. Open wide, open that chest up. Exhale. Left arm across the body. Try to relax your shoulders down away from your ears. You don't want to be hugging up. Beautiful. Coming always back to that deep belly breathing, especially when we're holding a pose. One more deep breath. And release. Stretch the arms back. Stick the chest out. And give yourself a hug. Beautiful. Open wide. Stretch the chest. And other arm on top. Give yourself a hug. Mamas need love too, especially during this long pregnancy journey. Extra love. And then we'll get all the love when our baby comes out. Okay, we're going to come back into child's pose, but we're going to take a little bit of a dynamic movement, moving with our breath in and out of child's pose. So on our inhale, we'll sit the hips back. Exhale, push the hips forward. So just kind of letting that belly relax. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, just encouraging those hips to open. Exhale. Inhale, long arms, melt. Exhale. Now we're going to change that breath pattern. So we're going to inhale forward. Exhale. And just notice how it feels different. Which feels more natural to you. Trying to let the face be relaxed as well, not holding any tightness in the jaw or the face. Good, one more. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Beautiful, coming back up. We're just gonna slip over onto our side of our hip. And we're gonna come into our fire log pose, releasing the outer hips now. So right leg down, left leg stacks on top. Ideally, left ankle over right knee, left knee over right ankle. Sit up nice and tall. So most important thing here is that we're grounded through both sits bones. So you wanna feel both sits bones flat on the earth. If that is not you, if you're a little off to the side, the hips are a little bit tighter, that's okay. We can support ourselves and our knees and our hips by putting some support, a cushion, pillow, yoga block under the knees. Maybe your knees are up here, maybe your sits bones aren't on the floor. So then tucking a pillow or a blanket underneath those sits bones so we can be completely grounded. Sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders down the back. And then if you feel good, reach those hands forward. And when you're ready, walking those hands back, gently unwinding those legs. Let the left shin come underneath, right leg on top. Sits bones grounded, so if you need that support, place a blanket underneath of your sits bones. Sit up nice and tall, and then we hinge forward. When you're ready, coming back up through center, uncrossing the legs and just coming into a comfortable seated position, whatever suits you in this moment. Sit up nice and tall, closing down our practice with a sense of gratitude always. So closing down the eyes, lowering the gaze, bringing our hands to heart center. Just taking a moment for the benefits of our practice to settle in. Thank you so much for joining me. The light and soul in me sees and reflects the light and soul in each and every one of you. Namaste.